Data validation is a feature of Excel that can be useful for ensuring only the correct data gets typed into a sheet. Now, if we give an example on this sheet in front of us, we can see that we have a column where we enter dates. Now, maybe if when we do this, we want the car hire place to ensure that only valid dates are typed in. And what we mean by this is that sometimes people may type a date in such as the 21st.4.19. They're assuming that's the 21st of April 2019. Unfortunately, as far as Excel is concerned, that is not a date format. So it doesn't recognize it as a date. So we do want to avoid this. Some people might type in the 21st of April 2019. Again, as far as Excel is concerned, this is not a valid date. We need to ensure that they type in a date that's recognized by the computer, and we also want to add some criteria. We don't want anyone backdating a higher date. So they can type in today's date, or they can enter in a future date. To do this, we use data validation. You begin by highlighting the area of the sheet that you require to be validated. Once this is done, you can then go to the data ribbon. Is a button called data validation. This you click on. It brings up a dialog box that has 3 tabs across the top. We're going to enter data into all 3, but we'll begin with the settings tab. Now you can see it's got a couple of drop downs. The first one says allow any value. What we do is we drop this down, and you can see you have various things you can allow to be typed in, such as whole numbers, decimal, but we want the one that says date. Once you select that, it then gives you the option to change the logic in the data drop down, and at the moment it gives us the word between. That means we can enter 2 dates in that they have to enter between. You'll see the other logic statements such as not between, equal to, greater than, less than and equal, so you get a whole array of different logic. Now, because we don't want people to be able to put in an old date, we're going to choose the option that says greater than or equal to. Once we select that, we can then click our mouse in the field called start date. Now what we type in here is the date that we want it to be checked against. Now we have a problem here. If I type in today's date, then it will always remain that date. Even in a month or year's time, it will remain that date. So we need a way that this changes every day, and for that we're going to use a function word, and we type this in, equals, because it is a function, today, open and close bracket. Now if you've never come across that function word before, that will just return the current day's date. So for example, as it's the 21st today, it will put that in. If we open this up tomorrow, this will say the 22nd, and then the 23rd, and so on. So it changes every day. Once you've filled in your criteria, we can then move to the next tab, which is called input message. Now this is where you're going to put in some instructions so that when people click into one of those validated cells, it tells them what to do. So for example, in the title, we can type in please note. In the input message, we can tell people what to do. You must enter a date only. You cannot backdate a vehicle hire. Once we've typed in the instructions, we can then move to the third tab, which is called Error Alert. Now this is the message that will pop up on the screen if they make a mistake. Now we're going to leave it for the moment on stop. We can then put in the title of Try Again, and then in the error message we can type in the error message we can just give them a message that tells them what they've done wrong or how to correct it. So we could say it must be a valid date typed like this, and then maybe do it as dd/mm/yy. Obviously that's for the UK. So once you've filled in all three, you can click OK. You'll notice we got a message come up. Let's just deselect. So what happens is somebody clicks into any one of these cells. It comes up with a little help to tell them what they must do. Now let's put in a correct date. So I've put in the correct date format. It's today's date and it's in a valid format. If I enter that, the program accepts that quite easily. However, if I attempt to backdate this, for example, the 19th of the 4th, 2019, when I attempt to enter that, it comes up and tells me that it must be typed in like this, and obviously I could put in a message to say you can't backdate. If I attempt to type in some text, enter that, again it will reject it because it's not a valid date. And that's data validation.